We are in Manchester at the City Football Academy to discuss how Georgetown University and Manchester City Sports Business School have launched a new Executive Masters in Global Sports Operations and Strategy. To mark the occasion, joining me are two very special guests. Alongside me is Dr. Kelly Otter, Dean of Georgetown School of Continuing Studies, who's here meeting Manchester City and experiencing the operation firsthand. And alongside us is Jorgina Busquets, Managing Director of Education, Recreation and Partner Clubs, which includes the Manchester City Sports Business School. Together, we're going to discuss why this programme has launched, who it's really for, and how this can support future growth across global sport. First, it would be great to hear from you about your role in launching the Masters and what it's been like working with Kelly on this project.
We really realised that we had a role to play in the world of education, but equally we didn't want to do it on our own. We felt we needed someone like Georgetown with their rigor, with their gravitas, with their household name in the world of education to go side by side and bring together their academic expertise plus everything that I feel we have to offer, being an outstanding sports and entertainment organization.
Obviously, it's an exciting time for you and for Georgetown University. And I guess the main question really is, why now? Why launch this Masters alongside Manchester City?
So we have had a very successful program in sports management for coming up on 20 years. But at this moment, we saw the fast-changing growth in the sports management industry. And it really is much more expansive and looking more like a broader entertainment industry. And so what we wanted to do was to create a program that took the highest level of competency focused on the leadership needs of the moment and in the future, and to do that with a global brand that also says rigor and excellence. And we thought putting that together in a partnership would be what students would need now and going forward.
That's amazing. And I guess in terms of the longevity of the programme and getting to this moment, I'm sure you've discussed a lot about the values that both parties share. And I guess a question for both of you is, what value is it that stands out the most?
At Georgetown, we talk about a phrase, cura personalis. And what that means in English is care of the whole person. And it's a value system that comes out of the Ignatian tradition. So we think very much about our students as whole people, and we want our education to meet them where they are. We have another value called cura apostolica, and what that means is care of the whole. And so to cultivate the best leaders, people have to understand their individuality and how to strive for excellence on their own, and how to strive for excellence as part of a team, as part of a collective. So that's the whole.
And here at City, we have very similar values, don't we, Georgina?
Well, I was reflecting on what Kelly was saying. When you think about a top sports organization, you learn very quickly that it's all about the team. No, it's not about the individuality. So when you were talking about the values, I was thinking, what better way to run through this leadership, this looking at the whole. What a better metaphor than football for life. This holistic education that goes beyond just the tactics on the pitch or whatever you might learn in a classroom that is very narrow, specifically focused on a subject. We need to see the bigger picture. So I certainly feel that.
With that in mind, has that made the planning of the Masters, the course, what it looks like, hopefully pretty easy in terms of what our students will learn will ultimately also reflect the values of both parties throughout? Would that be fair to say?
This is going to be a 12-month online program with 2 one-week residencies, one in Manchester, one in New York. And we were saying that these one-week residencies at both places are extremely crucial to do what Kelly was saying. So we were thinking, let's try to pick a week where they can also attend either a Champions League or a Premier League game so that they can get to experience what that's like. They will also get to do a tour of the stadium. They will get multiple guest lectures, as I said, from different practitioners from across the organization and beyond, so that they get a real sense of what goes on in the industry.
Can you tease a little bit for those that will be joining the Masters what your favourite aspect of it is, whether that's classroom related or real life learning here in Manchester or in New York?
The focus on high-level strategy and also the human element required to be able to do that. And having high EQ as a leader is absolutely essential to being able to move an organization through tumultuous times, and also to be able to have all of the proficiencies one needs, all of the technical proficiencies, and to be able to be that nimble and that adaptable is what will train our new leaders to understand all the dimensions that are going to be required of them to work in a dynamic field like this.